Well, hey, I got my microphone now. Okay, how's everybody doing? I'm Chris, and welcome to my little broadcast called The Chile Report, where we're going to be talking about different things that are happening in Chile right now. And today, well, it's kind of a slow day, so there's not a whole lot of things that are happening right now. In most of the places, Saturdays are kind of a slow day. I wanted to talk something about carjackings in Santiago. Now, if you have wheels or if you're driving around, I just saw a report the other day how one of the top places where they have carjackings in Santiago is near the southeastern part of Santiago, like where they have, I think it's called Penolien or something like that. I can't pronounce that word right, but that's where a lot of the carjackings have occurred. They do occur in other parts of the town, like near, well, you could be near, I say, the west part of town. A lot of it happens down there in the Cerrillos area, near the ex-airport of Santiago. And so you got to be really careful, because the number one thing you got to remember is not to drive so close to another vehicle, because if you get too close to them, they're going to stop, they're going to box you in, and it's going to be,
motherfucker.
It's going to be four kids jumping out of a car, and they're going to be carjacking you. So you don't want to be anything with that. So if you're in those areas, especially at night, but even during the day, you don't want to be running around getting too close to another vehicle that's in front of you, especially if there's like four kids in there or four guys, whatever. So you don't want to be anywhere near that. Another piece of news that's happening, and I spoke about this during the last broadcast I did, was the cable cars that are going to be connecting the Huercharaba area of Ciudad Empresarial over the mountain of Cerro San Cristobal into the area of where the Costanera Center Mall is, which is going to be really cool. I remember the ex-alcaldesa Mate, she didn't want that. She didn't want it to come so close to that area, but it's perfect for that area. It's perfect. So, right near the metro and everything. So, I don't know why she didn't want that. The only problem with that is I saw the report on one of the news channels the other night, and they were saying, well, it's going to be, you could fit up to, 10 people into each cable car.
That's nasty.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem, especially if you're, you can use your beep card apparently on this. I don't know if it's going to be a little extra money, but hopefully it won't cost any additional money. But the cable cars will be going back and forth, and there'll be like many of them, so it's going to be, it reminds me of the cable cars in Disney World. If you've ever been to Disney, they have cable cars that go from the Disney studio, Hollywood Studios place, and then to, a couple of the, the resorts there. So it looks very similar to that. All right, what else is going on here? Still looking for those lost Haitian children. And of course, I'm not a big fan of illegal immigration. As you know, I'm a legal migrant to Chile, and I don't think, there was a lot of mystery behind how a lot of people came from different countries, from Venezuela, from Haiti, from Peru has always had migrants coming to Chile, but now it's very cosmopolitan in Santiago, so that's still under investigation. Other news, there was a story out of Maipú. Yes, I know it sounds funny. So there was a story out of Maipú that where a girl paid a daughter, like she must have been like 17, 16, paid like 60,000 pesos. That's like $50 US dollars to have her mother killed. That's some bad news. That's something that's going to have a long shelf life when she's sitting in jail for, That's bad news. So I feel really bad about that, but God, 60 grand, I'm sure my kids wouldn't pay over 80. So anyway, I think anything that's going on right now in Chile, I've learned to look on some of the websites like Chilevisión, TVN, Mega, but you got to be careful when you look on their websites because there's like pop-ups everywhere. So it's really difficult to check the news online. They say always, check our website. It's just full of advertisements. So got to be careful with that. It's kind of a headache. I usually just, I don't know what news sources are available. Internationally, there's a lot of news sources, but locally in English, very limited. They used to have this old newspaper. They had like 2 years ago. They had the News Review, which was a printed newspaper that they had. I would buy it every week. They would sell it downtown and in Providencia and what have you, and they just went out of business because they didn't have a lot of people at that time that spoke English. And now they have they used to have also the Santiago Times, which was a funny name, and they had that for a while, but then it just became a online subscription format, and not many people did it, and it was really, really not that great. I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't like up to the minute, and it was difficult to navigate current news. So that's what I want to do with this. Hopefully I can have other people joining me and talking about things that are happening in Chile in English and interactive, giving their opinions. Your opinion sucks, something like that. And, let people, if they want to call me,
you're a loser.
Fine, I don't care. But it would be good to have some kind of platform where we can talk about things in Chile in English. And that's the name of the game. Other things that are happening in Chile right now, I don't really see a whole lot of things. It's really, really a slow day. I think maybe tomorrow may be a better day, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. All right, well, I'm going to go have dinner. There's nothing really to talk about. This was a short video. I'm sorry that it ended so soon, but hopefully tomorrow we'll have some more interesting things that are on the news, and we'll go from there. Make sure you try to subscribe so we can get more people involved, and I want people to make comments, not because I want that beautiful little plaque on the back of my wall here, but because I want something where we can speak about things that are happening in Chile, but in English, not just for gringos or anything like that, but for everybody who wants to learn to speak English or know what's going on in Chile. So that's basically it. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.